originally from California, about an hour east of LA, in a little place called Bloomington. I currently live and train full-time at the Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs. You guys have been there? People? It's a cool place. I always say I'm living the dream because all I gotta do is eat, sleep, and swim, so it's nice. I'm just gonna kind of, I don't want to bore you guys too much, so we're gonna do a lot of question and answer, so think of some questions that you want to ask me. I don't really care what it is, I'll answer anything. But I'm just gonna kind of go in order of how my life took its place. When I was born with a birth defect, and so my legs were wet at the knee. You can imagine my knee right here, there was skin under my knee, so I could not stretch them out. So when I was young, I was in a wheelchair, basically until I was about 5 years old. The doctors tried everything. I went through about 20 operations to try to fix my legs. Nothing worked, so it was in and out of hospitals like consistently. I remember one time the doctors had to put this big old like metal cage around my leg. It was called like a laser off. It was made in like Russia or something. And there's like a big metal cage that goes around my leg, and it went from up here all the way down to like my ankles. And it had like metal rods going into my bones. And the idea was to stretch my leg out through that method. My mom had to turn it like a few millimeters a day, and when she turned it, it didn't hurt right away, but like 2 hours later, my leg was just throbbing with pain. It was terrible. And the worst thing about it is that when they put it on, I had it on for like 3 months, and then they took it off. My leg went back, so it was kind of like all pointless, I think. So when I was 5, I was just fed up with everything, and I didn't want to be in a wheelchair no more. I got an older brother and 2 older sisters, and I wanted to be just like them. I was kind of chasing my brother, trying to in that sense. And so I just told doctors to cut my legs off, and from then, I feel like my legs were my chains, if you can imagine that. And I didn't want my chains anymore. I wanted to be free. And so they cut them off, and it was an easy decision for me. It was black and white. Either cut your legs off and get some robot legs, or to stay in a wheelchair. So at 5 years old, it was an easy decision, just like that. And my parents let me make the decision when I was young because they didn't want me to come back when I was 20 years old and say, well, why'd you like to cut my legs off? I could have had real legs now. They could have fixed them. So my parents gave me that choice, which I never, ever regret. It's one of the best choices of my life because, I've got to travel the world and I get to come speak to people like you guys and hopefully give you guys some type of message. Like I said last night, I only want to touch one of you guys. I want to totally change your perspective, but you guys can take something out of it, take it into school, or even after in real life, we all grow up and get jobs. It would be awesome. My mission would be complete. So the first sport I got into was swimming. When they cut my legs off, I was in the hospital for about a week or 2 after, and then they put like metal basically caps around my legs. And so when they cut my legs off, they cut my legs off through the knee. So I have my kneecaps on both of them, and that's about it. So I have like foam down there, so it helps when I walk. They put basically casts around my legs, and the doctors told me not to walk on them for like 2 months. As soon as I got home, I was running around on them. My mom had to take me into the doctor like every week to get new ones because they would be dirty, and I just started making holes in them. So right away, I wanted to get going because I was like, whoa, I don't have to worry about my legs anymore. Right now I can get going. And I was still a little bored though. I didn't know what to do. When I ride a skateboard, it's kind of one of the big things that I like to do is skateboard. But when I ride it, I usually sit like my butt on the board. I usually push with my hands, and that's what I did a lot when I was younger. But I wanted to get more involved into something else, and so my dad suggested I should try swimming because maybe sometime in my life I might need to swim in an emergency or something. And so they took me to like a YMCA. Taught me how to swim. First time they jumped me in the water, I had no idea what to do. I thought I was going to drown. And prior to that, when I was like 3 or 4 years old, in the trailer park where I used to live at, they used to have a pool. And so I used to go and I used to have my floaties on, and I could stand the stairs. And one time my floaties fell off and I went to the bottom, and it kind of really scared me because I didn't know what to do. So my dad said, let's go swimming. 3 months later, I really enjoyed swimming. I felt free in the water. I felt like I didn't have to worry about my legs being an issue. And so my instructor told me that I should go join like a naval body swim team, and so my mom took me to a swim team in California, and that's when I first got involved in the able body swimming, and I was known as a kid with no legs, which was it was alright. But the thing that really bothered me is that I always used to come in dead last all my swim meets. Probably for about 6 months. I went to maybe 5, 6 swim meets, and they're all age group swim meets. And, you know, I would do the 15, 25 free, 25 back, 25 breast, all the 25s. And I used to come in dead last, which really used to make me mad because I knew that I could, you know, really excel, but just need more time. And so I remember the first time I actually touched someone out, was the guy next to me. He was kind of slow. He was actually slower than me, which was pretty funny, but I touched him out. I look over, and I'm like, yeah, and then I hear him say, damn, the kid with no legs beat me. And right away, I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. So, you know, I kept swimming. When I was, you know, my goal when I started swimming was to beat a kid with legs. That's all I wanted to do. And when I did that, I set another goal. And if you've seen that paper, that one right there, one where I'm kind of running funky, little news piece. I said when I was 8 years old that I want to go to the Paralympics in 2004. And every day, you know, I'd wake up before high school, go to practice. My mom had to drive me, and you know, I trained my butt off all the way to 2004 to trials. And at trials, you know, my main event, my closest shot was the 200 IM, and prelims I had a great swim. Finals I got disqualified, so right away I thought my dream was over. But the next morning they announced the team, and they called my name for some odd reason. I don't know why. So I made the team, which was amazing. But you know, making the team is one thing, going to the games is another. So you know, I had to still get prepared for that. And from there, in the prelims, on day one, my first event,